Okay, let me start the session. Good evening. This is for the corporate law and tax, which is your CL 4 subject, the particular introduction session for the subject as well as on the session delivery. The for understand how we are going to do this and what should, as the students, what should you have to do and the what is your syllabus, then open book referential materials, and what is the open book policy, as students you should know. Then all these things we need to discuss. Then for that I'm starting session. Then warmly welcome for the CL4, which is corporate law and taxation. In that, my part is for the 45% of your syllabus, which is the taxation part. Then in that, the introduction of your syllabus and the paper, then I need to cover. Then I'm using this, I'm not going with the full slides because I need to write, I need to type the things when I'm discussing the this particular introduction part with you. Then this one, which is the what is your pillar, and from the module what is aimed by the students. Then you're targeting on your exam on December 2026. Then in that, which is your year of assessment 25-26 year of assessment for the tax part of it. Then under that as module, then what is going to the students should need to understand as a prerequisite before your learning. Then your pillar is the tax, and this is your pillar. Your pillar is a business environment, tax law and taxation. Then the in here, this is your subject. From this module, what are the aims as it has given? Then it's a build an in-depth understanding of Sri Lankan corporate law and taxation framework for businesses. Then your subject is totally applicable for your the business, the management of the business and particular business situations, and cover company formation, governance, restructuring and winding up procedures. This is for law. And explain key regulatory and compliance requirements affecting corporate operations, and develop knowledge of business taxation, including corporate tax, VAT, tax incentives, compliance obligations, especially again introduce mechanism for tax or it's a legal dispute resolutions. The particular provisions of the Inland Revenue Act and the VAT law, which is on the assessments, appeal, and appeal we have 3 layers in that how a taxpayer going to go with these things and how they are going to resolve disputes between the Department of Inland Revenue, and help students apply the knowledge to ensure compliance and support strategic decision making. Then as you what you are thinking, even for last time paper, as you are thinking how you think about this part. What are your thoughts on this? It has asked. Then this is your module name, which is you have to theory, you have to do the things with theory and then the application. It's not just mere theory, but theory plus the application for what? For the given practical scenario. And then for next one, the learning and assessment methodology. In this, what's the focus from your syllabus? The focus is building students' skills in analyzing, applying, and examining corporate law and taxation. Analyzing, applying, not just mere writing of theory. That thing you have to understand. That is your, which is the position, that is your status in this paper. You have to apply what you know. Then from learning this 45% of the syllabus area, and come in for the theory, come in for the practice questions, model questions and doing pilot paper, mock paper, and your past paper. One paper we have. Then accordingly, which you can come to that level, the layer of the applying, the analyzing, and you know how in the exam you're going to face for that. Then what's the approach? It's a combined theory with practical application. Then this is what it has expected very clearly. Combines theory with practical application to strengthen critical thinking and decision making. You are a decision maker, not just a number crunching. You are a decision maker. Now, how you going to apply this for a given scenario? How are the paper questions? It's totally scenario-based questions. Very short. This is not a difficult task for y'all. This 45%, I'm totally addressing the taxation part. Then in that 45%, it's not a difficult task for y'all. It's easily you can obtain the marks and you can pass this subject if you are a well prepared student. Then it is short scenario based question. The test, the concise of the understanding. Then how you have understood this one and how you are going to apply it to given scenario. And long scenario computation questions, even it has questions. There is a one question for 20 marks. The long, that is from 45, then it's a 20% is going for that question, which is here the resident company taxation question. That is again scenario based, is a lengthy calculation question, not lengthy, but it's up to 20 marks. It is there. And in that, what you have to do, evaluate, apply your deep knowledge, the analytical ability, and the total practical application. Then this is the what the learning and the assessment methodology which it's expecting. I need to repeatedly tell this. Your paper is an application paper. Then yes, you have to write some theories, but again it for the law you have to write, but it's for the given scenario. And this is the part of the syllabus. I'm not touching on the low part, but which is enthusiastically, I need to come for the taxation part, which is the part B of your syllabus. In that, corporate taxation, framework, compliance, and dispute resolution. This is the big picture you should know. Then in that, what is the percentage of this each component? First one, corporate income tax and taxation framework, it's 20%. Value added tax, the VAT, 15%. The tax dispute resolution mechanism, it's 10%. Altogether, what is the percentage? It is 45%. It is 45%. Then thereby, this 45%, of course, 45 out of 45 you can obtain. Okay. Then this is that. Now I need to come for, when covering this 45% area, on this subjects or sub syllabus areas, what is the detailed topics which you have to learn. Now let me directly come to your curriculum, which is in your syllabus. This is your total syllabus, which is in here your pillar, business environment, law and taxation. In that, for all these things, module name, learning and assessment methodology, it has explained. This is your learning grid. Then we are here now. Then for this, I need to come under this learning grid, the total particular topics which you have to learn. This is very, very important. If you know what you have to learn, and it is very important for you to have your own judgments. Even when you are taking a paper, if you know, okay, this is the syllabus area which it has tested, then it's easy for you, for your self-measurement and whether, okay, I know these things or don't know. Then for these things, it's very, very important for you to have your self power play. Then this is very, very important. In here, I need to come for tax area, which in your syllabus. Then here, yeah, here that, which is the corporate taxation framework, compliance and dispute resolution. What is the first thing? In B1, corporate income tax and taxation framework, it's 20%. On this 20%, what's the first? It's a corporate income tax, CIT. In that, what you have to do, income from business of a resident company, you have to learn. Income from investment of a resident company, taxable income of a company, tax liability of a company, and balance tax payable. These are the first main four under this 20% area. I'm not coming to this one by one because in the each sessions, what we are discussing, I'm taking these sub-syllabus areas and under that, I'm covering theory and the practice questions. Then here you can see it's been a resident company taxation, the total of the business income, investment income, that two is the main two parts. Other income, it's totally in the scenario basis. Then after taking these, how you're going to compute the taxable income and balance tax liability or balance tax payable, which you have to compute. Then this is one part of that. For test this part, now I need to immediately come for your paper, which is latest paper, with to give the understanding of the open book referential materials and how the student is going to use this. Then these are very, very important things. Then in that, for this one, there is a calculation question, which is the 20 marks were allocated. Then from this, I need to put a line, sorry. From this, I need to put a line and then I need to come for second, which is tax concessions applicable to companies. Now we are in a corporate income tax and taxation framework. Under that, for companies, what are the applicable tax concessions? Here we go. Then in that, this is very, very important because now these are the trends which you have to know. Under that, and I need to come for this three actually. The under tax concessions, analyze business activities to apply the appropriate tax incentives, including investment relief, tax holidays, and sector-specified benefit or sector-specific benefits. Now we have the second schedule. Under that, which we need to look at the investment incentives application. Not only that, it's not it's strictly applicable for the Inland Revenue Act. But going further beyond that, now you need to learn about the Fourth City Act also. The concessions now, the Fourth City as a separate, the zone in Sri Lanka for the companies, what are the benefits available? Then under that, outline the concessions available under Board of Investment and Colombo Fourth City Economic Commission Act. Board of Investment is the body which in Sri Lanka, which is they are providing the tax holidays, tax exemptions under BOI agreement. And newly we have Colombo Fourth City Economic Commission Act. Under that, the companies which needs to go for the Fourth City investments, then what are the benefits available to companies as well as the employees of the companies? Then you need to learn why you have to give sometimes the advices to the company. If you are going with this investment, what are the benefits? Then in that, the focusing on eligibility criteria, benefits and the compliance requirements. 3, it's asking eligibility, who can go for Fourth City and BOI? What are the benefits? Obviously tax concessions, exemptions like that, or in other benefits also there, and compliance requirements to sustain under that scheme, what we have to do. And next one, which is very practical, emerging topic, it has embedded to your syllabus, and even for June 2026 exam, from this part it has tested. Then these are emerging issues which in a globally we can see. Then how Sri Lankan tax system, it's going hands on this. Then under that, what it has, the from the learning outcome, examine international sustainability linked tax incentives and their impact on corporate environment and social, the governance, which is the environment, social and the governance, the ESG, which is on the sustainability framework. Then practices, ESG practices, follow the focusing on regulatory compliance, long-term benefits and stakeholder perception. Again, it has taken the main focus, which is on regulatory environment, long-term benefits, stakeholder perception. For these, I would say these are very, very important. Then under emerging topics, which it can be highly testable for your examination, as it has tested in June 2026 also. Okay, then this is for the first 20% of your syllabus. And then which I need to come for the next one, the value added tax, the main indirect tax in Sri Lanka. The VAT, it is for the 15%, and for your paper the 10%, the question it is there. And here the value added tax for business, then again it's highly applicable for the practical sense thinking and how the calculations and answer writing, if it has asked how you are going to write, then in that I'm not coming to one by one, since as I have explained, when it comes to VAT, I'm taking this all learning outcomes and addressing how we are going to do that. Then here the obligations of a VAT registered person, on that up to the calculation you have to learn. And then simplified value added tax, this was abolished from Sri Lanka with effective from 1st October 2025. Then under this situation, but your year of assessment 25-26, then it is not bad for us to learn this and go, because if you have the idea on this, for anything you can tackle. Then next one, that's only the on 15% on the value added tax. And then the statutory provision, which simply when it comes to your language, the statutory provisions applications, then it's coming under dispute resolution mechanism, because why it's disputes, the taxpayer and the Department of Inland Revenue, then if they are not in a same agreement, then under that in both parties, with these two parties there is a mismatch, then to resolve that, what is the law it has given as the provisions for us to apply. Then in that, it's 10% of the area, tax dispute resolution. Under that, you have to learn about the objections and appeals, and the prepare suitable submissions. Then being a taxpayer, if there is assessment, we have to write valid appeal. If there is a taxes in default notice, we have to go for the objections. Then how you're going to write these things, then we have to learn. Then you can see this is not just writing of the date of the filing of the returns and on the 4 types of the assessments, and not like that. This is on the practically how you are going to do the things correctly. Then your practical application for this, especially for this, the taking total theoretical area of the dispute resolution. To the practical sense, you should need to know these areas. And tax in default, penalties and interest in default, recovery actions under Inland Revenue Act, very, very important. And the types of rulings. Rulings issued under Inland Revenue Act, we have the public and the private rulings. In a different scenarios, it is issuing. Then for that, you have to learn. That's all for your 45% of the syllabus area. It's not bulky, it's not too much. But if you have not done anything and just go for exam, you cannot do this. Then therefore you have to learn two subjects, which is a law, corporate law, as well as the taxation. Then under that situation, this particular detailed knowledge you should have. How am I going to apply this? Okay. This is your syllabus. Now, before again coming to the PowerPoint, I need to come, if this is your syllabus, how it is going to test. This is your latest paper, the pilot paper also there. Since we have our latest paper, I'm taking the latest paper. And from the latest paper, now I need to take you through under instructions to candidates. This is very, very important. You are the candidate. Then these instructions, vital for you, the open book referential materials and about the paper and what is the open book policy that students should follow. Everything is there. Then in this, through the paper and through this explanation, I need to take you through for you to understand about the main instructions as you, as a candidate, how you're going to apply it into your paper, which is you're going to do in December 2026. Then here, time allowed, reading and plan in 15 minutes, write in 3 hours. Then this 15 minutes, it has given for what? It has given for reading and planning. Not just reading, not just planning. Then, why? You have two subjects here in a one paper. Then you can use this 15 minutes effectively. For what? Come for that. Total marks 100, you know that. I need to come for third one. This paper consists of two parts. Then in these two parts, part 1, corporate ethics, formation, governance and legal framework for 55 marks. Part 2, corporate taxation. In that, the framework, compliance and dispute resolution for 45 marks. Done. Then after that, in this corporate law part, if I have taken corporate entities part, the paper, it has section A and B. From section A, 3 short scenario based questions. You can see it is compulsory. And for section B, 2 extended complex scenario based questions. The learning, which is your learning leads, how it's going to assess as given in the curriculum, it's same is tested here. Then extended complex scenario based questions, answer any one question. You can see. Now in here, you have selections. For you to go for selections, Lamai, how this 15 minutes is important. And part 2, the taxation part, section A and B is there. Section A, 2 short scenario based questions, compulsory. B, 1 extended complex scenario based question, compulsory. This is 25, and for this 2 question is a 10, and 10 the marks will be allocated. Then for this in tax, you don't have anything to select. It's compulsory. But when it comes to law, then for part B, section B, I'm sorry, the section B, you have to think and you have to pick and choose one question. And again, in this, you have to do the thing before coming to answer, you have to think there are some areas. Am I going to start with law? Am I going to start with tax? If it is for the law, what is the question I'm going to select? Then like that, you have to do the things. After that, that is for 15 minutes, not the entire 15 minutes. That what I have mentioned for that, the few decisions, very important few decisions, which is change in your 3 hours. Then after for that one, it's a 5 minutes more than enough, even 4 minutes. Then time is going so fast. Then in that situation, which is at least you should have 10 minutes to whatever the question you have selected, read it and start answer once you received the answer booklet. Then effectiveness of this 15 minutes, it is the make you king at the exam. Then therefore use the time. However, which I need to tell, you are maybe a very intelligent student and you may be a very hardworking and gathered knowledge, practiced the questions and done everything. But if you are poor in your time management, then under that situation, you are going to maybe not successful at your exam. Why was the reason? Due to lack of time management. Therefore, you should be a smart student. Intelligent, knowledge, apply, and the time management. Then you should have to have always, I need to keep on writing. I need to do this computation, but what? Within the time given. Okay, then that is on the time management and the marks allocation and the structure of the questions which given in the paper. And write answers for questions in part 1 and part 2, separate pages in the answer booklet. Then answer booklet, it's for you. It's your answer booklet. If the pages are not enough for you to write, you can request more papers. Then in the clear, readable manner, please write your answers and do your computations. And then now this is very, very important. Okay. Then let me come to this as very, very important for this, the open book referential materials. The examination will be conducted as an open book examination and only the following publications will be permitted to be used at the examination hall. What's the first for business law? Companies Act number 7 of 2007. Now come to my part of here, business taxation. It's a corporate taxation. Then Inland Revenue Act number 24 of 2017 and the subsequent amendments. Then you should bring the main enactment of the act plus the subsequent amendment. The next one is the subsequent amendments. Then under this, we have consolidated Inland Revenue Act. Then don't bring that. ඒක ගෙනියන්න එපා. Consolidated Inland Revenue Act එක ගෙනියන්න බෑ ඕගොල්ලන්ට දරුවෝ. ඕගොල්ලෝ ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ main enactment එකයි subsequent amendments උයි තමයි ගෙනියන්නේ Inland Revenue Act එකේ up to the latest amendment which applicable for you all for the 2025 amended act. Then it is very, very important to understand this open book referential materials. Second one, for Value Added Tax Act number 14 of 2002 and subsequent amendment. For this one also, then main enactment with it has bundled. It has bundled. Even this main enactment for Inland Revenue Act and the amendments, it has bundled now. Then you have to purchase. Where you are going to purchase these things from the government publications. The government publication department, then it is there, then you have to buy these things. Now after that, now very clearly, Inland Revenue Act main enactment and the subsequent amendments as well as the Value Added Tax Act and the the subsequent amendments, value added tax also up to 2025 amendment, then you can buy from the government publications. Then after that, for this part, how to use, how you are going to use this, how to use, under that, the candidates are allowed to bring or use above permitted publications subject to following. These are critical to remember and correctly apply. What you can do, there are things which you can do, there are things you cannot do. What you can do, highlighting, slide lining and underlining relevant sections in the publications are only allowed. This is which you can do. You can highlight, sidelining and the underlining relevant sections in the publications. Come to second bullet. Short notes or any other notes written on the permitted publications are not allowed. පැහැදිලිවම දෙනවා. You cannot write anything in these publications. මේක ලියලා අරන් යන්න එපා, අරන් යන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකේ printed අකුරු ටික තියෙනවනේ. ඔයා අලුතෙන් ආයි දෙයක් ඒකේ ලියන්න යන්න එපා. Then this is very, very important. The writing of anything from your own words, any handwritten things, if in your book, that book is not permitted to bring for your examination. Then that's the one part. It is very clearly given, which is they not allowed. You cannot bring if you have done so. Don't write that unnecessary things or anything in your open book referential materials. And secondly, attaching, pasting or inserting any other documents on the permitted publications are not allowed. Then in here, which is very clearly, it has mentioned what? You cannot write a short note and paste it. Then, which is you cannot attach anything other than tagging. You can, it's just, the slide lining is there. You can have a sticky note. Then from on that sticky note, you cannot write the things and you cannot paste it. Don't do that. පොත්තල ඇතුලේ කිසිම දෙයක් අලවන්න යන්න එපා, which is written in your own handwriting. Then this is for the second part, attaching, pasting or inserting any other document to the permitted publications are not allowed. Then don't do these things. These are not to do. Don't do this. You can do. If it is so, the book is not permitted to bring for your examination. And then the page tabs or the page tabs to refer, the pages are allowed. The page tabs you can put to refer the pages. Yes, it is allowed. This you can do. Okay. Then therefore, I need to tell you for this, the open book referential policy. It's very, very important for the success of your examination. Okay. Then this is on that, this is very first day I need to communicate to all of y'all, all the students who are doing the CL4. Then this is very, very important. If not at the examination, Daru, what it is happening, you are going to panic. You all are struggling, okay, and whatever you have learned, what you in your thought process, it's maybe going to the disturb under this kind of situations at the examination due to high pressure, unnecessary things what you have, which is there are things, do's and don'ts, the thing which you have done, which as a student, which is not permitted to do. Therefore, you have to follow this open book referential material policy. This has communicated from the institute, the CASriLanka, they have communicated this, if not mistaken. the February 2026, then even in the website, these things are there. Now anyway, it's in your paper as instructions to candidates. It has given even in the pilot paper, then it has very clearly all these things, it has very clearly mentioned. Then this is for you, your awareness. Then therefore this is very, very important. Okay. Then next one, the notes, textbooks or any other the materials, the note textbooks other than permitted material or any other materials are not allowed. මේ කියලා තියෙන ටික අරුණකොට වෙන දේවල් අරන් යන්න බෑ. මේක පොත් බලා, yeah, it's an open book referential exam, but it's a 3 hours. Then you have to think, you have to write, you have to manage your time, and you have to do the computation. Meanwhile, if you have time, I wish, then you can look at the books. Therefore, please understand, rely on yourself. There may be no enough time for you to look at the books and do the things because you have looked into the module name under assessments. It's looking for application part of it. Okay. Then these 8 and 9 you all know, which is the language and how it's all the pages, all the things what you have done. It should be attached to your answer script. Okay. Then from this 5th and 6th, I would say it's very, very important. Before anything, however, this third one is important. Then I need to come for paper with the aim. Then in this, I'm not coming to this, the section A, but I need to come for tax part of this, which is a section B. Then, sorry, in this section B, this is still in this, but I need to come for tax section A. Okay. Part 2 of the paper, which belongs to taxation. Then in that, which is I need to come for instructions. And why suddenly I need to come for paper, not to do the paper, but I need to take an assessment on the action verbs. Which kind of action verb is going to test from you at your exam in this level. Then it's a part 2 of the paper and it's a minimum score of 20 marks for this part is needed to pass the subject. Then what's the weightage? 45. Out of this 45, for you to pass, what is the minimum score? It's 20. Minimum score is 20. A minimum score of 20 marks for this part is needed to pass the subject. Then therefore, is it difficult for you to get the 20 marks on for this entire 45? No, you can. I'm 100% sure you can obtain 45 out of 45 for this. If you are a very good means not intelligent, very committed students, then this is you can do. Then I need to come for part A for a while. Then in part A, the total marks it has given. Then total marks, it's a total marks for part 1, it's a 55 marks. All questions are compulsory. Total marks for section A 30 and the time. Now all these instructions it has given. Then in this now you have to understand the 55 marks it has allocated for this. Then what I need to tell you, time management. Your time management in between this part 1 and part 2, you should have to have a good idea. Then there is a paper which combined with 2 subjects. Then under that situation, for you to obtain the particular marks, the management of the time is very, very important. The management of the time, it is very, very important. Then again, I need to come for the question. Then here, which is for this, then a minimum score of 20 marks, this rule now I have given to you. Then in the question here, the pilot paper we need to do because these are the things which we have. Then, okay. Then in this, I need to come for action verbs. Then in the action verb, the time and everything it has given, it's a convenient for y'all. The section A, 2 questions, all compulsory, then 10 marks, 10 marks for these. These are the details of the question and this is a requirement. Identify and secondly calculate the VAT calculation and the identification of the revenue under output VAT and each of the supply. And secondly for the question 6, this question 7, the second question, in that outline, analyze, how to analyze by explaining these things. It's for the 10 marks. And for section B, which is in a question 8, then in that, what it has given, assessable income of the business, investment, and tax liability. These are the components of your resident company taxation that you are learning outcomes in your syllabus. And then the ESG for this is for the 5 marks. It has, you can see your suggestions. If you have ESG framework, under ESG framework, for the environment, maybe for the social, maybe for the governance, if you have the suggestions, then you can write. Then this is action verb is explain. Now you can see explain, assess, outline, identify. Now these are the action verbs which it has tested throughout the paper. Now where these action verbs are there, now I need to come for your curriculum booklet. This is your curriculum booklet. I'm in the page 43 of this booklet. In that, use of action verbs, these are the list of action verbs. Now from the action verbs, it's identify, which is in the level 1. And when it comes to the next one, which is on outline, it was there. It's a under analyze part of it, which is level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we had the explain and we had the assess. Now you can see it is in a different levels of the particular action verbs. Then it has tested. Explain from this one. Then understand, which is in the second layer. Then this has tested. Therefore, knowing of these action verbs, what is the interpretation of these action verbs, it's very, very important. And even in your curriculum book, it has given what should be your open book referential materials. Very clearly everything given. Very clearly everything given through the curriculum, through your instructions to candidates and the open book policy. It's communicated to students by the institute. Then this is very, very important for you to know these things. Okay. Then these are the background which you have to have for you to be in a comfort zone in this subject. Then that background information it has given and you can ask any questions. Then here, next I need to come for the key proficiency level expectation. Where this has mentioned in your syllabus, the key proficiency levels it has given here. What is that? Apply and analyze. Not just mere writing of the theory. Then you have to do apply and analyze. What's the meaning of the apply? Student must use the concept, rules and framework in a practical scenario. That's why the mini practical scenarios or complex scenarios it has given for you. And what analyze students must examine, break down and evaluate situations using the concepts. Then you have to analyze the situation and then give a recommendation, the opinion to the person who seeks for your advice. And then these are the 3 main areas, which is the resident company tax and the concessions, VAT, and the dispute resolutions. What students must show at the exam, what you should show. The apply, I'm not coming to one by one, but I need to come for core scenarios, which is as students, what you have to do, apply concept to scenario. This must. You have to apply the concept to given scenario, not vague answers you can give. If it is asked on a particular thing, if it is asked on the capital allowances, you have to link it to law and you have to tell how to claim capital allowances. This is just an example I have taken. Then if it has asked on the ESG, then you have to tell in Sri Lanka for the sustainability framework for the tax, then what are the particular, the measurements, the provision it has taken. And they apply it to given scenario. Then secondly, interpret and the implement rules. The interpret and implement rules, which is the law, even tax, we are working with the laws. If you know the law, you can apply it to given scenario. If you don't know it, can you hypothetically apply or can you think and apply? Yes, you have to think and apply for anything. But for that, you should know the law. Then interpretation of the law is important. Then break down complex issues. Now, if there is a practical scenario given, then it has how you are going to communicate it to particular party. If it is taken at the exam for examiner, then the requirement is there. Then in that requirement, it has asked from the action verb. Then what you have to do, the break down that complex scenario and address it with the action verb. Then maybe in a question there are and word is there. Then in that it is maybe in a one part, a one question now, secondly you have to do another thing. Then for you to get marks, you have to write answers for both of these two. Then under that, the breakdown of the scenario, breakdown of your requirement is critical. And identify relationships and the implications. The scenario given. On this scenario, then you have to identify what is the implication, what implication, the tax implication. How we are going to take it based on the particular provisions of the maybe VAT law, maybe Fourth City Act, maybe Inland Revenue, and maybe in the BOI Act. Then in that situation, the relationships you have to build up correctly. And not only that, the tax decisions always, it should be ethical decisions. Then the corporate governance effect. We have governance framework and the VAT, direct, indirect taxes, both applications you need to look at. And they evaluate the scenarios critically. It's not only on tax, you have to look at the risk, inconsistencies due to this compliance, inconsistencies, what are the penalties, interest applicable, or opportunities in corporate structures or tax planning. If you are going for the expansion, can we go for fourth city? Or else can we go for the in investment in a different activities, different companies or different activities, maybe as the expansion, can we obtain tax concessions? Then you have to analyze, evaluate the scenario and give the best option and develop the reasoned solutions. That means the logical solutions should be there, not just vague solutions. Then in that, propose practical, ethical, legal solutions. And for the resolving tax disputes, it's not for the tax evasion, you have to go for the tax planning perspectives. This is from the students' perspective. Your answer should be ethical and compliance answers. And then the next for win this situation as a student, what you have to do. In that, as a student, you should have a discipline to learn. Then learning with the discipline. These are the prerequisites for exam success for any exam. These are prerequisites. Then you should have your own plans. You should have a discipline. It's not that you are starting today and you are which are again touching this subject after 3 months. Then under that situation, if something happen, everything can be happen. Syllabus උත් ඉවර කරලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Then therefore, you have to learn with discipline. Then, sorry, the fashion and the living in the subject. You should live in your subject, not only this, whatever the subjects you are doing, you should have to live in your subject. You know, okay, December I have to face for a subject. Now I'm learning this thing, and in the syllabus, these are the other areas which I have to learn. And I have to do the pilot paper, I have to do the mock paper, I have to do the June 2026 paper. Then, okay, for this area, it's not which is difficult to me, but this area is very difficult for me. Then I want to more and more do this. Then like that, you should be lived in your subject. Then it's a mindfulness, elabasity, sihi and sitima. Then which you all have. And self-power play for reflection. Have your own methods to take things remembered, which is short notes, the mind mapping, pictures, circles, triangles, anything. And then master of art of writing. Writing and calculation, which is a Patrice, at least one question every week. Then anyway, with our blended sessions of the recordings and live sessions, I'm doing this. Now after, which is finishing after completing the one part of your syllabus, then immediately I'm doing questions. Then anyway, you all cannot just which just look at what is happening now, okay, it's only going, no, that kind of situation is not there. You have to be active, and at least before the 3 months for the exam, I'm starting the live sessions. In that live session, for the maybe for the first first month, it may be the 2 live sessions per month, but after that it's continuously, it's a 1 week 1 live session, like that it is going. Then therefore, which you cannot avoid your subject anyway by force, or you have to live in your subject, okay. Then for all these things, now what you have to do, put first things first, have the priority. Then take the priority in for this 6 months, prioritize the things. Then under that, then you can start with the taking the priority for this is first task of me, second task, third task. In which task your exam is there, then you have to think. Then therefore, it's your which is choice. You have selected to do the exam. You have selected to be in this path and to take this prestige qualification. Then thereby, it's up to you to plan and do the things. Okay, if you can plan for fail, and also you can plan for pass. Then it's on you, it's up to you. Then therefore, this is to make you pass this session, the introduction session. It is to make you pass and to give entire idea about this subject to all of you with the detailed syllabus discussion. Okay, then okay, if you all good, if you all don't have any questions, then we can leisurely wind up the session by taking which is the best wishes for you all for the upcoming exam. Then starting from the good thoughts for this examination, and starting with the courage of this subject. And this CL4 we are releasing from this week onwards. This from Saturday and Sunday. This week is coming. Then weekend. Then from this weekend onward, then this will be released. Okay. Then if don't have any questions, seems to be all good, then I will wind up the session by taking the very good thoughts for the success
Hello.
of all of you.
Hello.
Yeah, any question?
Yes, madam, I have one question. Now,
Yeah, voice
can you
is
tell me?
okay. Yeah.
Can you tell me, like, what type of materials will be given for learning?
It is for the lecture materials. It's a word, it's a PDF version. You're asking on your lecture materials, then
Yes.
which you are providing. Then it is a PDF version of the, tutorials are provided to you all. Then in the tutorials, the theory, that particular syllabus coverage, and after that the Patris questions are there. Then after completing, sometimes it's a resident company taxation. It's a if I have taken 4 weeks, after 4 weeks of the theory part completed with the Patris questions, then model
Mm.
series of the model questions are going. Then that's how it's happening. At least the three in the Tetris in the last time also. The after completing of the resident company tax, the three resident company taxation question, and don't worry again, we have to do which is on the pilot paper mock and the actual paper exams questions. Then other than that, at least for covering each of the part, the three questions, sometimes in dispute resolution it has 5 6 questions we have done. Then like in the same approach it's going, it's the PDF versions of the lecture.
Okay.
It's a tutorial, totally it's a tutorial, not the PowerPoints. I'm not giving PowerPoints, it's the tutorials will be provided, the PDF versions.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah.
You were telling like there will be live sessions like after 3 months or something.
Yeah.
So for that also, if we are like unable to attend to that meeting, so we
Yeah,
can
the
have the
recordings
recording,
will be
right?
available. The
Ah,
recordings will
okay.
be available on each of the live sessions. The live session is totally, we are discussing the model questions, not theory. It's totally going with the model questions. And to answer students' questions, it's normally for the 2 hours, the time allocation is for the 2 hours. The same time it's a 7:30 to 9:30 it's going. Then it's for a 2 hours period, and it is totally discussion of the model questions, no theories, but any questions as the request by the students, like you have asked the questions, then that kind of the questions I'm explaining everything.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Okay, thank you for questions. Anyone? No, actually, minimum score for law, it has not given. Then obviously you have to take that into consideration. That's why I have also again looked into the paper. Then for tax is 20. Then for other, the 80% is going, 80% means the 45 is there. From the 55, then it has not mentioned, but for this part it has mentioned. Then for paper, it has mentioned, but for law, it's something grey because I don't know about that part. Then therefore, it's better if subsequently it has communicated, or if we find that, then definitely I will communicate that. Okay. Okay. Seems to be all good. Then. Yeah. Then I will wind up the session, and please be effective. I need to tell one thing again. Please be effective in your the learning as well as the. If you have any questions, you can contact our team and me through the WhatsApp and the Telegram. The Telegram group and the WhatsApp group, it is way of the communication as what you need. Then whatever the questions you're asking from me, as soon as possible I'm answering. It's not for one question. If you ask today, I'm not taking a 1 week to answer. Then but there are, if there are some question, like if you're asking what are the areas which is coming for this time exam, then maybe I'm not going to answer. It is your syllabus. Then, not like that. If you have the questions of your syllabus, anything, then I am clarifying. You can ask the questions through the group, through in a telegram, or else through telegram. You can put a personal message. Then whatever students' messages I'm answering as my earliest convenience I'm answering. Therefore, please have this benefit, because you can talk to lecturer and you can solve your questions. Please have that benefit also, through the effective communication through your groups. Effective communication applicable for your exam, not for any other things. Then therefore you can use the effective communication through the groups to the communication with me in any technical matters for the team. For that you can use that. And again, each and every recordings is going with the weekly recordings. For week, the particular recordings for that area, maybe the 3-4 recordings will be made available through the LMS, and relevant lecture materials, the tutorials will be uploaded, and that message will be which is put in the groups. Then you all have the proper communication. If anything, uh, any mismatches in anything, then you all can directly inform it. And if there are any students requirements, we are addressing at our earliest convenience. Okay, then let me wind up the session. All the very best for your upcoming exam, and all the very best for your effective learning on whatever subjects you're doing. Thank you.